What are the three biggest things that I learned about myself being a parent? Well, you're about to learn that in this video. Hey everybody, my name is Greg Crawford from the Vintage Dad Life. Welcome. And in this video, I want to talk about three big things that I learned about myself, but also carry over into being a better parent. So let's talk about the first thing, consistency. If we want to be a better parent and we want our kids to grow up and achieve things, be good people, be independent. We have to be healthy. We have to be consistent in everything we do. So if you want your kids to eat healthy and you're trying to get them to eat a healthy dinner, and then the next day you let them eat whatever they want, and then you keep flip-flopping, you're never going to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve with them. So you have to be consistent. If you're trying to get them to adopt a healthy lifestyle, you need to consistently do that. If you want to get them to stay off their devices during the dinner table and sit down and have a nice dinner and talk, you need to be consistent. It's not going to be easy. You might have to, navigate them quite a few times. But if you consistently work at it nonstop, just like if you were practicing for a sport, if you're not that good in the beginning, but you keep practicing, you're going to get better. Same thing with dealing with kids. It really comes down to consistency, So that's the first thing I learned about myself is everything I do now with my son and my daughter, I'm trying to be consistent all the time. So they see that they're adopting those habits of, okay, this is what I expect from my dad, and they're going to get it. Kids need that consistency in their life. So the second thing that I learned is to be more intentional. So if I'm going to spend time with my son and play with my son, I'm going to use that time to just play with him. I'm not going to be distracted. I'm not going to go on my phone and read emails while I'm trying to play with him at the same time. I mean, sure, there's times where I'm sitting on the couch and I am reading my emails and he's coming up to me, but I make intentional time also to play with him and to do things with him. Same thing with everything else is you're teaching your kids to be intentional. But when you teach your kids to do something, you in turn need to live that as well. So kids are a great teaching tool for yourself, man. I mean, when, before kids, of course, you're working on yourself, but when you have kids, that spotlight now is on you. And if you're not working on yourself and just focusing on trying to get your kids to adopt certain patterns and rules, and you're not living the way you want them to live, then they're not going to adopt those values and those principles. You need to adopt the values and principles for yourself. And the kids are a great learning tool. They're a spotlight on yourself, which is great and hard at the same time. So it's not easy, but when you work on yourself, it benefits your kids. And then the third thing that I've learned about myself and about being a parent is to be proactive versus reactive. Now, typically dads tend to be a little more reactive to things, except when it comes to laundry. But when your kids are misbehaving or they're doing something they're not supposed to do, it's, immediately the first thing you want to do is react. It's normal, but you want to take a deep breath. Sometimes when we react too quickly, we're not reacting in the way we should. So what I've learned over the last couple of years is when I feel myself boiling up inside and I want to react, maybe something my son is doing that he's not supposed to do, or he's acting up, take a deep breath. And I just think, how can I be proactive instead of just reacting? When we react, our kids are picking up that pattern. Okay. But when you take a deep breath and you don't react and you sit back and then you take a proactive approach to it, not only are you going to fix the situation much better, but your kids are going to feed off of that energy and they're going to learn from that too. Without you actually teaching that to them, they're learning from you just from your energy. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm trying to get better at. Look, there's no handbook that says this is how you be the best parent. You're learning as you go. However, there's certain principles and values that you can adopt that's going to help you along the way. These are just some principles that I'm learning, and it's helping. I hope it helps you. Consistency, intentional, and proactive versus reactive. And guess what? It comes down to you and working on yourself with those things. Let your kids feed off of your energy and see it versus telling them about it. And then it'll become much easier. If you need more help with working on yourself as a parent to become and implement those things on a consistent basis, then stick around, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video.